Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and artist, and today we're going to be hot gluing some googly eyes to a lot of objects that I own. You might notice that I have skin today. There's no real punchline to that bit. That's just the whole statement. I have skin today. That's because I got if I'm doing hand cam streams, because I don't break immersion often enough, I want to at least, I have to at least maintain. Why are you up, people? I'm getting to that. What are you, an out-of-work doctor? Have some patience. Anyway, I've got... Why are you a people? I've always been a people. I have personhood. Being a bag of rice doesn't mean I don't get no human rights. Anyway, that aside, the reason that I, to at least maintain the semblance of... what's it called? Immersion? That thing? That foreign thing? That thing that I never do? Yeah, to at least maintain the semblance of immersion, I want to... I resort to my human form whenever I have a hand cam stream. Hopefully I'll be able to make a nicer human form at some point. More animated, not with this crick in my neck that only lets me look in one direction. But we'll see about that at some other juncture in... the future, I suppose? Yeah, it'll have to be the future. Well, it couldn't be the past now, could it? Anyway, let's go to the working screen. There we go. So I think that's about using the... Oh yeah, you can actually see the googly eyes over here. I did some quick math on these, right? I did some quick math. You know how, like, in elementary school, they'd have those contests, right? Where you would, like... count jelly beans in a jar. You would guesstimate the number of jelly beans in a jar, and the one who got it closest would, like, keep the jar. I did something similar with these bad boys. I counted around 10 googly eyes across and 5 googly eyes up. Now, assuming we have minimal kind of overlap here, I was so bad at those. I mean, I was too. Usually it was some, like, other kid who got it, but I'm familiar enough with the concept, and it's kind of what I used here. So I guesstimated around 50 or so googly eyes total, which makes it about 25 pairs. So the way I see it, this is either going to end with me having a nice little laugh whenever I look around my house from now on, oh hey, it's a little one of those objects that I added googly eyes to. Or it's going to end up with me developing scopophobia. Which is why I have a few ground rules for the objects that I'm going to attach these to. One, they have to be in some way disposable. So these are not objects that I'm going to keep forever. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The hot glue on this gun is kind of garbo. So thankfully I'll be able to just, like, take it off. So it's not really a problem if I'm just going to recycle this stuff. But that's, like, rule number 1. Rule number 2. Well, most of it is disposable. Some of it is less so. Some of this stuff might be disposed of in, like, 1 to 2 weeks. Some of this stuff might not be disposed of for, like, a year plus. So we've got a little bit of variety in that regard. Second rule, I decided to not use any electronics in this, or at least no delicate electronics. Like, I was thinking about it, like, adding this, like, oh hey! Andala, thank you for the stream, welcome to... Oh, jostled my camera. Andala, thank you for the raid. How are you? Welcome to stream, everybody. I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and... I guess that introduction doesn't work when I'm in my human form, huh? I dare you to put googly eyes on your rice cooker if you own one. I do own a rice cooker. And actually, it's a... Hang on, first I gotta shout out Andala. How was your stream? Welcome. S-O at Andala. Yeah, welcome to stream, everybody. I'm putting googly eyes on stuff. Oh, Warframe. I've always wanted to get into Warframe. The lore seemed really interesting. I never managed to get it running. Oh, that's dripping already. Yeah, got a little bit of a glue already dripping out. Anyway, that did give me an idea. I'll be right back. Hang on. I almost ate shit on my own kitchen stairs trying to get this thing. So, there was a perilous quest indeed. Anyway, this is not my rice cooker. This is not... Is that... What is that? It's like a little fleck of pepper. Get out of there. Anyway, this is not my entire rice cooker. Lore's pretty good, but it can get kind of grindy. Fair trade-off, I suppose. Anyway, this is not my entire rice cooker. This is the little steam pocket that water drips into from the rice cooker. So I'll add a pair to these. Anyway, the hot glue that comes with this gun isn't particularly good. So the good news is that if I ever regret putting googly eyes on anything, or if I just can't take it anymore someday, I can just like very easily take it off. I like my decisions to be reversible. I like my decisions like I like my jackets. Reversible. In case of regret. Might as well start with the rice cooker thing, why not? Ugh, got this plastic stuff on it already. Okay. What kind of ones would be good for this? How about red eyes? That counts as your rice cooker, I guess? Yeah, I'm technically putting it on my rice cooker. Alright, let's see here. Got it. This brings me back. I haven't... hot! Alright, so about half of that got on my finger. You're gonna be hearing me say that, ow, ow, hot, or some variation thereof a lot today. I feel like you should get used to that. For your own sake and mine. Okay, and then over here. There we go. It's actually kind of cool. Alright, so that's one object down. We have about like 24 more objects to go or something by my guesstimations. Alright, so we'll put that in this corner over here, along with the little bits of hot glue scrap. Paps burns himself counter 1? Ah, dear. This is going to become a thing, isn't it? Alright, let's see what else we got. Oh, this is interesting. A rock! Not just any rock, though. I have a friend of my family's who lives nearby here. And their daughter gifted me this neat magnetic rock, which I can't put near my phone ever, or else it'll fuck it all the way up. But... you know, she's one of those, like, she's into, like, that crystal stuff, you know, that kind of thing, and she said that apparently this magnetized stone helps keep away bad vibes. I use it as a fridge magnet, which helps me remember the stuff that I have pending, which in a way means that it is accomplishing its goal. Anyway, we're gonna put a googly eyes on it now. It's gonna be able to ward away bad vibes much more efficiently. I'm gonna do that thing where like people do with fries, where they just like dump a bunch on the floor. Anyway, I feel like it's going to be able to do its job of guarding against bad vibes much more efficiently if it has peripheral vision. Okay, one on the side here. We gotta put them on the very edge. This guy is like very narrow. That's something else that I realized is that these eyes may not be able to fit entirely on all objects. Look at that little guy. Oh, hang on. There we go. Hematite is magnetic. Huh. I don't know if it's hematite. It might be. That was like a currency in old Shin Megami Tensei games, wasn't it? Hematite? I've never played an old Shin Megami Tensei game. I've actually never played a Shin Megami Tensei game except Strange Journey. Like the first hour or so of it. So it didn't get very far. Anyway, next up is this lock. Once upon a time, I went to a university, and the lockers there didn't have, what do you call, basic security. So I ended up having to invest in a little padlock for myself. I used to use this thing all the time. I say use this thing all the time. I hardly ever went to the gym except when I went to take karate lessons one time. But you know, that's one more thing we can add googly eyes to. There we go. This stream is gonna end up with me making like a bunch of Bug Snacks looking characters. That's what I noticed. I've never played Bug Snacks properly as it is. Oh, here's another interesting one. Bootlaces. I bought some shoes from a Value Village, which is a Canadian version of Goodwill. And unfortunately, their laces were falling apart. Like, I really like the shoes, but the laces were just friggin' devastated. So I ended up having to buy like 6 different pairs of laces before I actually got a pair that I enjoyed. Oh. Gives me clippy vibes. Yeah, that's true as well. Little clipping dudes, little clippy dudes. Small clippy men. The clippy familia. Yeah, the clippy familia, they don't tell you this in school. The clippy familia is almost as old money as the Medici family. I know only recently Clippy, their heir apparent scion, got a big breakout when he made that deal with Microsoft, but you know, they've been around. Anyway, next up, this bottle of perfume that literally says perfume on it, which I bought from a Asian dollar store. It actually smells quite nice. I actually do enjoy the smell of this perfume. I don't get many chances to use it though. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, I work at a place that has a scent-free policy. I don't get to doll myself up all too often for work, and well, I almost never go out anywhere besides work. That sounds sad. I don't mean to make that sound sad. There we go. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I don't get too many chances to like wear perfume or anything fancy like that, unfortunately. I could wear more just around the house, but I feel like that's almost a waste. Particularly since, you know, this is dollar store perfume. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be like super fancy. But it smells nice, and you know, I want to be able to have that on hand if I ever have a night out on the town. Oh, here's something even worse. Yeah, aftershave. Yeah, you couldn't tell from my immaculately groomed model. What kind of scents do you prefer? Hi, Jupiter. Scents do I prefer? I think more like sweet ones. My favorite scent ever is definitely like the smell of fresh wood. Like I got this little like, oh fuck, it's dragged by the scruff by the stream promo card. Oh shit. Hey, welcome, Corgi. Anyway, yeah, I do tend to gravitate towards like sweeter smell. I'm gonna give this guy Blue Eyes, mainly because it was a little too late to decide on anything else, but I feel like it's appropriate given that it is entirely blue. Let's see here, being very careful to not. I like how we're going to be able to determine whether these beasts are predators or prey or herbivores or whatever by the spacing of the eyes. Like, this thing definitely grazes on grass. That's a joke that's going to make sense to approximately 8 people ever. Wow, this is awesome. Why are you doing it? That could be a promo card on my life. Anyway. I made myself some googly eye asses. No thoughts had empty. Well, that's one part of it. Anyway, a little while ago, I bought myself a bag full of googly eyes. Around 50 or so, I think, from the dollar store, because I needed references for a googly eyes live 2D asset that I made. If I were in my rice form, which I'm currently not in, you could ask me to put those on. You could try another time, but basically I needed references for like how they moved and what they look like in the light. So I ended up buying a packet of googly eyes, and woe betide me, they weren't the type that had adhesive already on them. Oh hey, hair clip from back when I grew out my hair during the pandemic. This bad boy came in handy a couple times, let me tell you. Listen, if you have like a more masculine haircut, eventually when it grows out, you're gonna get a mullet. Simple fact of life. But with these bad boys, you know, with a couple hair clips here and there, with a couple masterful applications, you can make it look as though your hair is very plainly plaited to the sides of your head, and you can keep the worst of the back of the hair under control. So those helped me a lot during that time. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I was the only person with bad hair during the lessons in the pandemic, but it helped my self-confidence at least a little bit. This guy's so cute. My greatest fear. I don't think even a lesbian can make a mullet look sexy. I mean, there's gotta be someone, right? Never say never. Granted, I'm not gonna offer myself to be the pioneer in that field. What with the fact that I can permanently only have this... I'm gonna call this like a pseudo bowl cut. I don't know what kind of hairstyle I have here. I think it's just shaggy, messy. I don't know what the general description of this would be. Also, I do have to kind of like speed... You might notice that I'm moving very quickly between objects. And that's because, like, if I don't fucking hustle, the glue is gonna drip onto this mat, and while that's fine, it's not a problem, I can just, like, scrape it off. A mop? Yeah, I think that works. A mop. I have a mop hair. Anyway. I love it when objects already have holes, and you can just, like... This is like a guy. Mob Psycho 100! Get his ass. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna, like, keep this guy like this. Alright, what's next? Oh! Dollar store stapler. Yeah, I'm gonna give this guy also, like, sideways eyes. Like I said, this little project of mine is either going to end up with me having, like, a fun little quirky thing that I might do even unprompted in the future, or it's going to end up with me having scopophobia. Heaven or hell. Let's glue. And what else I got here? Oh! Little Dracula statue that I bought for Halloween last year. Never ended up doing anything with it. I think you're supposed to paint these guys. Well, that's not quite what I'm gonna be doing. We gotta get this guy red eyes. We gotta. It's the only way. Okay, we got green, yellow, red. Here we go. Oh wow, we're already almost out on this glue stick here. Oh, there's a hair on this little guy. Hang on. Get off. Oh, this might make it terrifying, guy. This might be a bad decision. God, it's like some kind of weird cyborg drac. Disturbing. I need a reload. Okay. God, yeah. I remember that for March I ended up using this little guy for, like, a study on light. That was a fun time, March. Yeah, right before my debut. Oh no. Okay, hang on. He looks like a weird version of those white Pikmin. He looks like a sophisticated version of the white Pikmin. Very friendly little guy. I don't like how it looks like they're always constantly looking at you, though. If we're taking bets, I think I'm on the side of scopophobia, not gonna lie. Yeah, like I said, thankfully the glue on this thing isn't particularly strong. It's not like I'm melting Gorilla Glue bars or something. So if it ever gets too much, I can just, like, tear out their eyes. Oh yeah, pen tablet stand that I never use. Boy, I bet this thing would have helped me to not lose my pen tablet a couple times. But that's for suckers. I kind of dig it with one eye, but unfortunately I do want it to... I mean, who says it only has to be two eyes? Oh yeah, that's true. I don't have to worry about eye contact, even in my human form. Yeah, that's true. It would be dangerous if I did have eyes, because then it would end up kind of like in Pokemon. People don't tell you this. When you do glue googly eyes to an object, that does give them a soul. Like, it does fill them with an abstract form of life. And much like in Pokemon, a fun game that is beloved by children the world over, if you make eye contact with these things, they are going to fight you. And brother, do they punch hard. Yeah, they don't tell you that in preschool. They're nice to children, which is why you don't have to worry about it as a kid. But as an adult, oh boy, watch out. They do not hold back. Ow, 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 burning myself! Chihuahua. Okay, last one. I figured at least one of these would end up like a biblically accurate angel and just have, like, eyes all over the place. I did not expect it to be the pen tablet, to be perfectly honest. Be not afraid. Don't get cooked. Yeah, I think I should have, like, had a counter somewhere on the screen. Keeping track of how many times I almost burned myself this stream. Oh, here's an interesting object. Bottle full of bird seed. This is also from an Asian dollar store. The bottle, I mean, not the bird seed. The bird seed I purchased at a pet store. I noticed there were a lot of crows hanging out in my campus on my first year of university. So I got it in my head that I could perhaps befriend them and have a little crow army for myself if I regularly fed them. Nothing really came of that, but at least they ate a couple times. That was nice. Well, no, I think they might have been ravens, not crows. They had, like, black legs and everything. There we go. Another satisfied customer, and oh my god, we still have so many eyes to go. Crows and ravens are both quite smart. Yeah, that's true. You know, I don't think, like, there's one corvid that's smarter than the other. Oh, hey, one of these eyes has to be missing something because, like, there's, like, just an iris rolling around. Gonna keep that. Alrighty, then. So, this one's gonna have yellow eyes. Or should I have it green eyes to match the kind of color palette? I think yellow eyes actually suited better. There's some yellow in there, too. I think that would create a nice contrast. On the roll of Cinta Scotch. I'm having quite a lot of fun with this, if you couldn't tell. Alright, let's see here. Well, I'm starting to run out of normal objects, which is fun. Alright, I had like a bunch of objects prepared. Alright, let's see. Oh, my bottle of Valentina hot sauce. Now, I do put this on toast sometimes. I do just like if I'm making myself like a panini or something, I will just like occasionally put throw a couple dabs of Valentina on there. I do that sometimes with Shiraka Mayo as well. It comes out really good. I would recommend it if you ever get the chance. There we go. Like I said, it's a good thing that I can peel these guys off fairly easily, because otherwise I'd feel kind of bad for this. What would be good for the next one? Oh. Well, while we're on the reach to spice up your lunch and find yourself on the wrong side of the meme... That's true. Like, yeah, like the last thing you see before Pab spices up his lunch using that does raise an interesting, if not moral, then physiological conundrum of whether or not these guys are like the Kool-Aid Man, and the sauce is their insides now. Am I drinking this thing's blood by having put googly eyes on it and giving it the you know, an abstract form of life? I don't like thinking about stuff like that. It's weird. People always tell me, like, you know, that's like the age-old debate, right? Is the Kool-Aid Man the pitcher or the Kool-Aid? Now, my stance on this issue, on this controversial hot topic, not to get a little political here about the Kool-Aid Man, my stance on this issue is that while it is not the Kool-Aid Man's vital force per se, it is somehow related to his life. I would posit that the Kool-Aid Man liquid, rather than being his blood or something similar, is more akin to his soul. Once a vessel has been emptied, the Kool-Aid Man would still be alive, but he would no longer be the Kool-Aid Man. He'd just be the pitcher man. You know, he would be the pitcher man who happened to have Kool-Aid in him at some point. Also, flashlight. Do not... I had a little voice in my head just now yell at me, like, don't turn on your flashlight directly at your camera and flashbang your viewers. Don't do that. Finally, someone unafraid to give a hard stance on the real issues. That's right. Yeah, Pabst 22... Okay, this year there's an election, right? Yeah. 20... No, okay, so in 2 years, I'm gonna run for president. I'm running on a rather unpopular platform of fuck around and find out. Man, it would fucking suck to be the president. I mean, I'd do a great job at it, but like, it would suck. Dying cactus that I bought at a supermarket. I'm not sure how I'm killing this cactus. Last time I checked, these fuckers are pretty much supposed to be immortal. But at least, you know, it's got a pair of eyes now. Or at least the pot does. You know, we got something going on. Yeah. Yeah, say hello to Fresa. Alright. Oh! Little box full of thumbtacks. I like that you can see that there's like one yellow thumbtack in there that's not from the original set. I just like grabbed that from from someone's wall and took it with. Because I'm a rebel like that. This workbench is getting a touch crowded for my tastes. Ow, 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 ah! Cactus! I need to find somewhere else to put this fucking cactus, bro. I thought the burning was bad, and then I bumped my hand into the cactus. You think after this long on Earth, I would have learned to look before I leap. But no, it's all just leaping. Thumbtack bottle is given eyes, vibrates, pops to life, and then fires a thumbtack attack in all directions. Are you gonna put eyes on the cactus too? No, that'd be... I'd feel bad about that. I don't want to hurt the plants any more than I already have with my neglect. I feel like... I mean, you could probably do that. You could probably put the eyes on the cactus and it'd be fine. I know people put sombreros on cacti sometimes. Oh man. This thing. Chinese cuff drops are the best in the world. I will stand by this assertion until the day that I die. I bought this little box of cuff drops from this Asian grocery. They lasted me like 2 years because I don't get sick very often. But in that time, I choked back one of these bad boys and my sore throat was gone in like 30 minutes. Greatest of all time. And now it's got eyes on it. Yeah, greatest of all time. I can't actually... Okay. Yeah, I can't read what any of these characters mean. I know this one... No, I don't know what any of these characters mean. Chinese never fucked around when it came to medicine. This is true. Except with the Emperor of the Qin Dynasty, but we don't talk about that. That guy fucked around so nobody else in the history of Chinese medicine would. Oh yeah, this guy's ready to go now as well. Well, no, I guess, like, would you determine, like, trying to find the... novelty drinking flask. Speaking of times when I was ill, I don't actually fill this with alcohol. I was missing a water bottle for a little while, and I needed something to hold water in, so I just bought this novelty hip flask. I never ended up using it too much, except one time when I got like a really bad fever in university. I was one of those people that didn't know that you weren't supposed to sweat out a fever. I literally just put myself under a billion covers and I was like, alright, gotta sweat it out. Bad choice. I googled it like literally half an hour after I felt like I was dying, and I was like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put something cold on your head. And I was like, wait, metallic things get cold easily. So I just filled this bad boy with cold water, put it on my forehead while I napped, and my fever broke within the hour. Fucking incredible, right? What else do I got? Oh, Yankee Candle. Or, what's this one? Watson's Candles. Yeah, knock off Yankee Candle. I bought this thing after my apartment suffered a blackout for like a day and a half. That was a real bad time, but, you know, yeah, I bought that after the blackout happened. It was a really bad scene because, like, you know, past one day... That's when, like, your food starts to go bad. That's, like, when shit starts to really get real after your power goes out. And, you know, this never ended up providing much in terms of light, but it does smell nice when I light it, so... It's not... It wasn't entirely a bad purchase. Okay. Quickly running out of objects. Also, I need to, like, make some space here. Alright, I'm gonna, like, put some of these guys away. Or at least put them out of frame. You guys aren't going to be able to see it. It's still going to be quite crowded on this table. Oh hey, the little magnetic rock one joined forces with the padlock. That's neat. Okay. Put this away, put that away. Oh, careful, careful. I need to be careful where I leave the hot glue gun. Like I said, it's not gonna, like, stick to anything, but it might still ruin, like, the varnishing or some shit on the wood. Oh, packet of baking soda. Needed, wanted, gotta have it. Yeah, it's still practically full. Ever since I stopped baking, I just don't use baking soda all that much. Yeah, go figure. Well, nowadays I only see this thing whenever I, like, fuck up with, like, a pot or a pan or something, and I need something to, like, wash it off with. They're like, oh, I see somebody forgot to wash their pan when it was still moist last night. Yeah, come crawling back, huh? Something like that. Okay. Pocket calculator. Gonna remove the calculator first. I think I used this thing for like all of one semester in university because one specific class wanted one specific calculator. I'm convinced that like at least a few of those university courses were in cahoots with the manufacturer or something. It's almost like baking soda specifically for baking. Yeah, I like big if true, honestly. I thought baking soda was exclusively for making refrigerators stop smelling bad when you forgot a sandwich in there for 3 months. Not that that ever happened to me. No, I forgot a sandwich in a locker one time. That did happen. When I was a kid in elementary school... Ooh. Oh, we got a twofer here. Very ambitious young lads. Anyway, when I was a kid, I forgot a sandwich, one of my lunch sandwiches in the school locker. And I just kind of left it alone. What does baking soda even do? Oh, okay, so when you put this bad boy in water, it creates little bubbles. So what ends up happening, and you can see that here on the cookies, if you put a little bit of baking soda in these bad boys, it actually causes them to create little bubbles in them, and that makes them fluff up real nice. Yeah, it's also good for deodorizing and washing. It cleans, but it's non-abrasive. So if you have, like, for example, something that like something that you don't want to scratch too badly, but do want to wash, you can use a little bit of baking soda. Now, I wouldn't recommend it for something like a CD, for example, but for something like a metal pot, for sure. Yeah, don't go too crazy with it, though. Like, over-applying it is still bad. But, you know, it works. It can also deodorize stuff. I know that at least I know at least one instance where it's been used to deodorize cat litter. Like you put a layer of the baking soda beneath the cat litter, and that makes it stink less. Speaking of beasts and creatures, I was hoping I wouldn't have to resort to this, but it seems that I have no other choice. Here's another thing that I bought at the dollar store during Halloween: a small satchel of I'm gonna say like some 50-ish plastic purple bats. Plastic purple bats. There we go. Yeah, take a look at that. These guys are small enough that I'm only going to be able to glue one eye on them, but I think that's going to look pretty sick anyway. You know, just have some flying eyeballs rolling around. Oh, I dropped the glue stick. Hang on. Yeah, look at that. That's not too bad. Alright, hang on. Glue stick recovered. Perfect. Now then, it's time to practice a little bit of mad science. I was hoping I wouldn't have to get to these guys, mainly because, like, what the fuck am I gonna do with 50-odd flying eyeballs? Besides, like, tame them and turn them into, like, a legion of minions. The problem is I'm already a face, so I can't do like a heal move like that unless I do a turn, and that's gonna be a whole production and a half. My manager would never allow it. Ah, burn! Ow! Okay, that's a 3. Eyeball bat curtain in the doorway. You know, I am considerate. I've never made a bead curtain before. I feel like making a bead curtain out of these bad boys would actually be like pretty baller. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a baller move. Yeah, what would that... I feel like that aesthetic is almost like if the Addams Family, except that instead of like Victorian shit, it was like the clear plastic Nintendo cases that you had on a Game Boy at some point. Pabst Counter 3. Yep, there we go. Thank you, Luca. Thank you for your services, Luca. Alright, let's see here. God. I read something weird today, right? That apparently pretzels are becoming more popular as a snack food again. I didn't even know that they were unpopular at any point. Like, pretzels were my jam as a kid. I mean, granted, they were just the simple salted ones, but apparently, like, somehow, you know, pretzels which have literal grains of salt stuck on them are lower in sodium and sugar than a lot of other snack foods, which kind of makes sense in some ways. You know, if you compare it to like a Dorito, for example, I could reasonably believe that a single pretzel has less sodium than a Dorito because, you know, the pretzel has the little salt grains, sure, but the Dorito's like dusted in it, like it's doused. That shit is 90%, that thing is 90% sodium and upwards. If dumping a bag of Doritos can't salinate a small lake, then you have done it wrong. If your bag of Doritos could not be reasonably used to mummify a small mammal, then you have fucked up, my friend. Opinions may vary on this. That's something else that I noticed, actually. The other day, I was getting some takeout food, and on a whim, I decided to, for my drink, I decided to order some V8. Which, if you don't know what V8 is, it's essentially like a tomato vegetable slurry. It's about as bad as it sounds. I'm not gonna lie. V8 is kind of garbo. It's an acquired taste. That's what I'm gonna say. V8 is an acquired taste. But it's not one that I acquired. I never really liked tomatoes. Even as a kid, even as an adult, I'd never really liked tomatoes, except cherry tomatoes. I'm actually a big fan of cherry tomatoes. Anyway, I got myself a thing of V8 to assuage the fact that I was like getting takeout for like a third night in a row or something. And I drank it, and I was like, huh, you know, this is actually kind of salty. I wonder how much salt is in V8. And I looked it up, and it's like 26% of your allotted sodium intake. So not only are you drinking like a vegetable smoothie, you're also drinking a vegetable smoothie that has like 28% of all the salt you're allowed to eat that day. V8 is blood, but the spicy one is really good. Yeah, I do know that they make low sodium ones. I saw those in the grocery. There's like a low sodium V8. But yeah, 26% or something. It was like a fairly high amount. Like, it surprised me. Yeah, vegetable canned soup drink, yeah. You know, when you say, like, you know, it never really hit me until I realized that it's just like canned soup, but cold. They make V8 fruit juice too. That is alright. Yeah, I will have to consider that. Alright, let's see here. Perfect. It feels watered down. What, the sodium one or the what do you call the spicy one? Because I doubt the spicy one feels watered down. It would make sense that the low sodium one feels watered down, though. Sodium isn't just like, you know, salt isn't just like a vital mineral. It's also like a flavor enhancer, but also like tapiko. What I've always wanted to try from Japan is actually a type of drink called yapiko or papiko. I think it's papiko. That is basically like soda flavored ice cream inside of a little soda shaped plastic bottle. I've always wanted to try that. I've had a lot of drinks. I've had a lot of ice cream like that as a kid, and I wanted to see like what it tasted like. I was lucky enough that like places around here actually do sell like what's it called, like bubble soda, marble soda. That's the one. Yeah, I was lucky enough to find a couple of people around here that sell marble soda. I'm into it. You know, it has a much like milder taste than Western sodas. I feel like Ramune. Yeah, Ramune is one of the brand names, but yeah, it's marble soda. Yeah, Ramune is very tasty. They also sell like that one Korean milk drink, Pilkus, I think it's called. Yeah, Pilkus. I really like Pilkus. I know that it's also got like a lot of like bad stuff. Well, not necessarily bad stuff, just stuff that you shouldn't have too much of in it. So yeah, you have to be a little bit careful. All right. So the good news is we have almost enough to make like 3 different pairs. But the better news is it doesn't actually matter how many pairs we can make because we're just sticking one eye on these guys anyway. Oh, would you look at that? I can actually make like a chain of them with a wiry residue. Can I say something a little messed up? I'm kind of half tempted to like hot glue all these little guys together and make like some kind of ball of bats and eyes. I kind of want to do that. If that makes me a bad person, I accept that. But I kind of, you know, seeing them kind of like wired together like that kind of inspired me a little bit. What are you even making in the first place? I'm actually just trying to unload all these googly eyes that I have because I bought a bunch. I didn't even buy a bunch. It was like a small bag. It was a bag this size of googly eyes. I couldn't even throw them out. There's so much crap in this way that's off camera. To be honest, I was thinking of that too. Something entirely covered in eyeballs. Yeah. To be fair, like, bats are pretty much the perfect shape because, like, you can see that, right? Like, oh god. Like, you can actually kind of see the way that they've been posted together. It's kind of like wing on wing. So if we can kind of like go like in this kind of pattern, I think we can do something. I think there's something there for sure. We'll have to be judicious, though. We have plenty of bats to work with, but not all the bats are going to have eyes. And I don't want to tear off eyes from any of these, you know, newly minted life forms. Newly minted life forms. That's. I gotta put that on a t-shirt. Newly minted life forms sounds like it's the best prog rock band of the 2010s. Or like their first album. You would see them on like the Bandcamp top 10 or something. Yeah, I know Bloodform. I know that there is one person in V server who makes music under the name Bloodforms. I've never listened to it, but I've been interested. I can't even tell if I'm like ungluing eyes from these creatures because there's just so many eyes and so much wiry silicone hanging around. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, that's a spicy meatball. There we go. But yeah, we would have to think about the eye to bat ratio if we're gonna make this... What would I even fucking call it? A legion? I feel like legion is the best way I could call that thing. You know, our name is Legion for we are many. Alright, there we go. Nice. And then another one. But yeah. That actually reminds me. Earlier I was looking up, like, you know, I was like, hey, I bet there's, like, some neat bug protein startups over near where I live. And I found out that there aren't actually any near where I live. But there are insect protein startups, like, around the nation that you can order from online. And if it didn't cost $20, I would be tempted to, like, try out whole roasted crickets. Like, I do sincerely believe that insect protein is one of the more viable future-proofing options for, like, anti-greenhouse stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my beef steak, and I love my pork, and I love my chicken. I love proteins of Earth, I love you. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not sustainable. It's figuratively, like, thinking about it from, like, a methane and a CO2 kind of standpoint, having the amount of cattle that we do, the amount of, like, animal husbandry, the kind of thing we got going on here isn't sustainable. So I've always been interested in bug protein. Also, it's just cool that you can eat insects. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I just think it's cool that you can eat insects. You know, I haven't tried them yet. I might change my mind after I try it. You know. You're telling me a grasshopper roasted this bag? Jeez. Oh yeah, speaking of weird tech startups and everything, I found out that apparently in San Francisco they were trying to roll out this new also, we're going to start making the Bad Legion now. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we create an inner ring first, one bat, one eye, and then we kind of like try to make like a sphere. I think that's like the best way to go about it. Just like, you know, don't go too big. Don't go too big at first. Just go small. Okay, then this guy here. I'm gonna be getting my hands burned a lot more in this endeavor, even more so than with the normal eyes. Gonna need to like double coat some of these as well. Gonna need to be like very careful. I'll just dump a little bit extra on there, just for shits and gigs. Fun fact, when I was in high school, one of my art projects was actually involved something similar to this. Rather than using plastic and bats though, what I ended up doing was that I had like metal wire. I think it was probably like iron or tin. I'm not sure which type of wiring it was, but we had like huge rolls of metal wire that we could use for our art projects, and I got it into my head that perhaps burn counter 4? Yeah, you can put that at a 4, that's fair. I would say that is a reasonable assumption. Anyway, hang on. Gonna add a little bit there. Anyway, I got it in my head that I could use some of this metal wiring, grafting together an abomination from the parts of different creatures. Not quite. Grafting together metal onto existing objects, basically. So, for example, one of the things that I made was I bought like a $5 calculator, and after I did some other weird shit to it for a couple other projects, I kind of like unhooked the top part, and I had metal tentacles kind of like sprawling out from there. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to make. I got a lot of burn-ouchies on that one too, but like 100%, 1000% worth it. Like, it looked sick as hell when it came out. Alright. This is not going to be a perfect circle, but I'm going to try to make it as perfect as I can. I did actually end up, doing something similar to that though for a personal project, was that I had like one of those like tiny, you know, it was very similar to this actually. I had a very tiny figure of, I think, Michelangelo's David, and it had its arm off like the normal David does. So I ended up making it basically a prosthetic arm out of metal, and I thought that was cool as fuck. Okay, so we're gonna join wings from the back, I think. Yeah, no, the closest I got to making like an abomination of different creatures was probably my experiments with Sculptress, which was a 3D art program that essentially it's not there anymore. I actually did check the website. I've brought this program up on stream before. Sculptress was a free program that basically let you sculpt a clay sphere into different objects. It was a very powerful tool for a free one, but unfortunately its creator monetized it and turned it into ZBrush, which I'm not sure what kind of reputation ZBrush has. I imagine it's halfway decent if it's anything like the program that I knew. Okay. I feel like this is a productive use of my time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. It's bringing back a lot of memories, especially like since I'm doing this to crap that I just have lying around the house that didn't maybe see a whole lot of like use mileage from me normally. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going with this until we make a perfect circle, basically. Perfect is a strong word for what the circle is gonna be, but until we make like a circular-ish shape, we're gonna keep this going. Ow! Alright, put that counter up at 5, Luca. I know when I'm beat. Alright, here we go. Yeah, the idea is to make these like very tightly put together so that they kind of create a stronger curve shape. That's kind of like the main goal here. I also need to be careful to not accidentally wrap any of the other bats up in here. All the bat wrapping that we're going to do is on purpose. Pabs burn counter 5. Don't hurt yourself. I'm not trying to, I promise. I promise I'm not trying to hurt myself. Oh yeah, something fun that I found out about the balls used in the FIFA World Cup today. Apparently, the balls that you see on the court this year, on the field, not the court. Court is for basketball. Get your sports ball facts straight, son. Apparently, the balls you're going to see on the field this year are actually like fairly high tech. Hey Jay, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're making like. Again, I'm not sure how to describe this. The best way I can describe this is like some kind of ring made out of googly eyes and bats. Anyway, the balls that you see on the World Cup field this year are actually fairly high-tech. Like, they have sensors inside of them. I think it was like Adidas was partnering with like a tech startup that essentially managed to put like a little sensor inside of the ball so that you could tell who kicked it, where, and how. And apparently that's going to make referees' job a lot easier, which is good because I know at least a couple of referees that have had like the issue of like the public wanting to lynch them for certain calls. Referees have it tough, man. All right, but yeah, it's super weird. Like they have a sensor in there that's kind of like suspended with some kind of unique wiring inside of the ball. It's friggin'. It's incredible, actually. I actually really like that technology. I feel like it could be used in for a lot of interesting things. Yeah, that's the upswing to a lot of this like evil technology stuff. Is that some of it is actually kind of interesting and neat, and doesn't have a whole lot of evil purposes to begin with. Like, yeah, you got like a ball sensor. Somebody could conceivably use that for evil, but they'd have to be very creative. But yeah, what really got me about the article that I read I read the ball thing about, apparently those things were in development for 6 fucking years. 6 years to make a single ball. Thousands of prototypes. We fucking ballin'. Correct. Yeah. 6 years to ball hard. This ball has been aged like fine wine in our finest sweat factories, in our finest chateaus de cancha. We have dry aged this fucking ball for 6 years. Okay, actually, I think we can connect the loop here. Ooh, it's gonna be a little messy. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but that's okay. We got the glue. Also, there's no way this wasn't going to be messy ever. Dry-aged balls? Yeah, actually, fun fact. If you feel like your shoes are starting to make you a little bit upset, try to switch to a different pair of shoes for at least a couple of days. Because apparently, if your shoes are drier when you put them on, they feel much more comfortable. Also, we did manage to do this. We did manage to make my hand is too enormous, and my big old wrestler hands can't like fit this on as a bracelet, but conceivably somebody could. Alright. So here's what I think we do. We can continue to expand this. Yeah, betrayed by my epic fists. Alright, so I think here's what we can do. We can try to like build this upward a little bit. I have tiny hands. Hey, are you in the market for a hot new bracelet, one of a kind, never seen before? But yeah, damn, betrayed by my own mitts. My hands can touch everything but themselves. Ain't that always the way? Where did that quote even come from? I remember seeing it a lot all over the place, right? Like, my hands can touch everything but themselves. Is it from like an older poem or something? I wouldn't know. I'm not very particularly well read on older poems, but I feel like it would come from that. I don't know how well that hot glue would hold. I mean, we could probably douse it in Gorilla Glue or something to kind of fortify it a little bit. I bet that would work. You know, we eventually just kind of like flex seal it with, you know, hot new experimental flex sealing technology. We do have a little bit of a mishap here where like these two eyes are a little close together, but that's hardly noticeable. Shh. I can't tell you honestly, but I think it's stupid. You can't touch your own hands, idiot. That is true. As a metaphor, it works phenomenally. Like, as a poetic thing, it works, but like, realistically speaking, bro, if you have hands, they can touch themselves pretty easy. Yeah, peace sign. I don't know who the fuck said that, but rip to him, I'm just built different. God. Man, now I'm hoping it's not somebody like fucking Alexander the Great or some shit, because he is definitely gonna kick my ass in the afterlife for talking shit about his poetry. Yeah. I would like to imagine that at least one of the layers of limbo, you know, that Dante's in his journey left out, is that if you make fun of somebody's poetry, they do get to beat you up gauntlet style down a long walkway when you die. It's a whole thing. I don't know where I'm supposed to stick these sets of bats. Like, the spaces are very uneven. I might have to flip them around, actually. Oh, that works, actually. Hang on. We got this. We can ball. We ball. I'm also glad that this means that I can finally use up all these fucking hot glue sticks that I've got lying around, because I had like 18 of them. Because I'm a guy that impulse purchases occasionally. On occasion, I'm known to impulse purchase. Very rarely, but I do. But sometimes those impulse purchases are just completely useless crap. But honestly, I feel like those are almost the best kind of impulse purchases, because if you impulse purchase buy something useful, then you get it into your head that, like, it's a good thing, right? If you don't have a little bit of buyer's remorse over an impulse purchase, then you're just really harming yourself in the long run. This is how I'm coping with it, at least. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Okay, everybody grab onto your seatbelt. Hang on. Is it done? Okay. I accidentally hit the camera arm. You can't see it. It's kind of running all the way down here. It's actually a little bit in the way, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, but because I moved my... I used to have this camera arm attached to my bookshelf, which was behind my desk. And that worked because the bookshelf was very high up. This thing does not have much reach, so, you know, it kind of worked out. But unfortunately, now I have it attached to like an auxiliary desk. I have kind of like in this direction. And that works a little less. I wonder if we can make like an ashtray out of this thing. I don't think we're going to be able to get to a full sphere. I'm not seeing enough bats here to make like a full sphere. But I could definitely see some kind of like bowl or perhaps ashtray. Some manner of half-spherical receptacle is definitely in the cards for this. I think we can go for another layer of eye bats, honestly. God, I love how forgiving hot glue is. Like, I don't mention this, but hot glue is actually one of my favorite mediums to work with. You know, it's very agreeable, it's very forgiving of mistakes. Unlike some cold-hearted fuckers I could mention, epoxy. Yeah, resin I think is like not particularly mistake-friendly. I feel like it's a lot like clay, where like in the before you can probably like have a little bit of fun with it, but in the after there's no going back. I wanted to work with resin at some point. Resin is a bitch. Okay, good to know that my hate isn't entirely unfounded. I wanted to work with resin. Like, I wanted to work with resin at one point. I had, like, the chemicals and everything set up. I even had, like, a bunch of, like, shape containers to pour the chemicals into, but I never managed to commit. I'm not sure what I ended up doing. I remember I got, like, a couple of different materials, actually. I remember if you guys know this guy on YouTube, there's this YouTube channel called The King of Random. I got really obsessed with his videos for a little while in high school. So I wanted to actually try to... It seems fun, but no, it's a lie. Jeez. Yeah, no, that's like the jaded statement of a veteran. I trust your word on that, Luca. Got it. Anyway, I watched a bunch of videos by this dude called like The King of Random on YouTube as a teenager. He's still around. I've seen his YouTube videos still kind of circulate the net. But one of the things that he showed us I say showed us as if like we were all there. Come ow. Come look through this fond adolescent memory of mine with me on this brain journey. No. One of the things he showed how to do is that if you mix a certain amount of caulk with, I think it was starch. It might have been starch. I don't remember what he mixed it with, but he mixed a certain amount of caulk with like another material. It can create like this malleable rubber thing. Or I think it might have just been like straight caulk. Like it might have been just like caulk that he just left to dry. But apparently, anyway, he mixed it with something though. I think it was like, there was some kind of substrate that you mix along with the caulk. Perhaps grammar counter thing 6. Yeah, I deserve that one. That's fair. But yeah, there was some kind of like substrate that you mix along with the caulk to make it like rubbery, and eventually you could just let it harden into like a ball. I did that with like a tube shaped one. It was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. I enjoyed doing that, but at that same time, I got the epoxy, or like the resin or whatever, and I think I got so frustrated with it that I actually kind of gave up on the plan to use other exotic materials. So yeah, that's kind of what happened to that project in the end. A little bit sad. I still have like options to work with resin at some point. Like, you know, it's not 100% off the table, but I am definitely going to be very cautious with it when I do, because chemicals are not something that you mess around with. You know what? This is coming along pretty great. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty hyped for this thing. Really don't know how to describe this thing. There's just... It's so much. There's so much going on here. It's a lot. It's a lot to look at. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. We still got a ways to go, though. Alright. Carefully there. Some kind of beast. Does this qualify still as a beast? I think at this point it's just kind of like biomass from friggin' Metro 2033 or some shit. Like, this is the sort of thing that you would find in containment in, like, frickin' Lobotomy Corporation or the SCP laboratories. Yeah, how much you guys bet if I submitted this as, like, an SCP of some kind, it would get in? I feel like it has a decent chance. I feel like it's got a shot. I'm literally playing Lobotomy Corporation. What, right now? Nice. Yeah, I remember that time you streamed it. It was a lot of fun. I wouldn't play it myself because I'm kind of like a little coward who's afraid to make hard decisions and doesn't want to see his little kind, cute employees who he loves very much die. Well, I imagine like it's probably addictive enough that like you kind of forget. Yes, at this very moment. Nice. Yeah. I am interested in like the designs in Lobotomy Corporation. I like the art style of it. The human characters, at least. I know the monsters have like very varied art styles. I still remember that one monster who's just like a woman with her whole ass out. She's just like me for real. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Okay. Now, I think this might be the very last ring of eyes that we're able to make, because I think we have like 4 of these, 5 of these left, counting this one. So we're going to have to be very judicious with our application. The lady facing the wall, I can't take her seriously. Listen, sometimes when you're having a bad moment, you just kind of gotta let the cake out a little bit. You gotta unleash the bakery a little bit on them. Be right back, I'm out of tea and it's cold up here. Oh god, yeah, it is chilly these days. And yeah, actually one of the points the game is making has to do with how the more you play and make an effort to progress, the less your randomly generated employees matter to you. Yeah, games like that always, like... I admire games with that kind of ethos and the way they can integrate that kind of mentality into gameplay. Like, I think Darkest Dungeon is another example of a game where that happens. I know Darkest Dungeon does that to its players as well. This is getting very lopsided. But yeah, there are games out there that like put you in that in that kind of like position of person who has to make a hard decision. And eventually you just kind of go like, fuck it, send the children to the coal mines. You have that kind of moment. Or, you know, send Barbara to get mauled by, I don't know, some fucking bear that can levitate and phase through walls. And you're like, and your employees are like, but Barbara's birthday is today. We have a cake and everything. She can eat it after she gets mauled. Away with her. You become like the miser in some Victorian-era allegory for greed. Could you call a Night Before Christmas an allegory? I don't think you could. The ghosts are very, very real. There's a giant monstrous fetus that has to be fed an employee whenever it starts crying. I hate it. Yeah, I would hate that shit too. I feel like the hatred of it... almost doesn't need to be explicitly noted. That shit sounds awful. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. Yeah, real babies do that sometimes as well. Yeah, they don't tell you about that, but like every single parenting guide, there's like you know that page that's normal? Oh, it's okay, I got all its items, so I just don't pick it anymore. Alright, fair move. Yeah, your turn, infants. Yeah, I do imagine that as you kind of like get smarter, Lobotomy Corporation gets easier. Not smarter as in like, you know, your intelligence stat increases or anything, but like you start to understand more of the world and like the implications of different things. I feel like that's definitely the part of the game when you start being like able to really get your head in the game, you know? That's always exciting when a game finally starts to make sense to you. Oh, hang on. That's gonna cover up an eye. Let's see here. Yeah, let some other sucker deal with the murder fetus. Yeah, the easiest way to make a problem go away is to make it somebody else's problem. Yeah, rule number 1. Actually, no, the easiest way to solve a problem is to make it go away, period. But, you know, other than that, sending it to some other poor sucker to deal with is always a fairly good option. What's that one Tumblr post? Like, it's not like a valid move, but in a pinch you can hand off a cursed item to basically any baby. Like, definitely a dick move, but you can't argue the fact that you can't. Okay, hang on, just kind of like... The weird thing about hot glue is that it actually stays a little bit malleable after you set it, so I can kind of like sculpted this thing to some extent. Ouch! Ah! And put that up at 6. Actually, no, I think Luca's still getting tea, so I gotta like... Hang on, I gotta DIY this thing. Pebs... Burn counter. Oh, thanks, Jupes. Alright. Thank you. My keyboard is like tucked away behind all these life forms behind here. So I appreciate the spot. Okay. Okay, and then... how do we add... Okay, we can... I think we can start sealing this guy up. I think we can start sealing the beast. This is bottom half, the beast's bottom half. Okay, put that there. Put that closer to the middle of the frame so that everybody can see it. This thing looks like the world's most fucked up Jell-O. This thing looks like if you went to the dark web Pinterest and you saw like a recipe for something, you would just see this rolling around. Dark web Pinterest is an interesting proposition. I would argue that a Pinterest is in some ways almost already part of the dark web. Because Lord knows I can't find anything that I need to on there, and I need to get specific links to it to actually get there. Yeah. Anybody remember that game, like horror video game, Welcome to the Game? I remember for some reason a friend of mine was like obsessed with it in high school. Like she wanted us to like watch like a full playthrough of it, which BT dubs takes like 5 hours because of the fact that it's like a lot of RNG based. So essentially what goes on in that game is that you're some poor idiot on their computer at home. You're on your pewter, right? And you, for some reason, gain access to the dark web. Hooray! Unfortunately, that means that there are now murderers coming to your house. Oh no. So the entire game is just trying to find like different routes to secure your own safety, while also dealing with like stuff on the dark web, mining Bitcoin, and also a murderer comes to your house every now and again to give you a little bit of a spookerino. Yeah. I never really got into it. I'm not a huge horror game guy. Also, I say as I make whatever the fuck this is. I think what I can do with these last 3 guys is actually put them on the rim like this. So here's a 1 and a 2. I like certain kinds of horror games, but I struggle to play a lot of horror games. Ooh, I feel that. I am 100% with you there. Like, I am fascinated by horror games. I will not play them. You could not corral me to play a horror game, but I am fascinated by them. I want to see the grotesqueries. I want to see the creature. I don't want to feel the fear. Okay, hang on. Yeah, to me, games like Resident Evil 4 and such don't count. Like, hang on. I'm gonna unplug the hot glue gun real quick. There we go. Oh boy. Okay, where was I? I love Phasmophobia, but I was such a little baby about it. Oh yeah, I would be right there with you. I don't know how to end this stream. I think we've gone on for, you know, we've been at this for a little while. I think this might be a good place to end it, but I don't think that. I don't know if I'm ever gonna top this. I'm gonna have to graduate because I don't think I think this is like the apex of my achievements. This is like gonna be. Oop, hang on, this one's loose. All right, my apex hasn't come just yet. Dios mío, la criatura. Las criaturas. Okay, we still have some bats here. I'm gonna add some more to this guy while I talk. But yeah, off the top of my head, horror games that I like. Again, I'm not sure if the Resident Evil series counts, because I feel like Resident Evil almost isn't a horror game, because the point of the game is to just shoot people. Well, zombies. You shoot zombies of some manner. Oh, right, that would also mean I need to re-plug the hot glue gun. Un momento, por favor. Reaching all the way down. I have one of those, like, power strips down here. Can you see my head? Oh, no. I'm fine. I'm fine. Whatever. You can't see my head. I don't have a head. That is a lie. I have a head. Okay, I have a head. This is well established that I have a head. Well, if nothing else, I at least have a mouth. Lord knows I'd be quite insufferable if I couldn't speak. Yeah, my brain is the type that needs like a direct feed filtered from mouth to brain. Otherwise, I think I would explode. Yeah, I would just be using sign language at 300 words a second. I'd look like I was doing jutsus from Naruto. Learning sign language seems like it'll be a useful skill. I know like more people are developing hearing problems in the new generation because of the way gotta be talking. Exactly. You understand. I gotta be talking. It's weird. I'm unusually talkative if I'm by myself. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, if I'm the only person in the room, I can be very talkative. If I'm, like, with other people, I don't exactly clam up. I'll still speak up every now and again, but, like, I'll definitely be way less active. I'll definitely be taking a back seat in terms of the talking. No, I get it. I have full conversations with just my cats. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Getting yourself a little pet. Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, I'm a very social person. I just don't talk. Well, no, I'm not exactly a social person either. But, yeah, I think you guys understand. I'm out here giving video essays to no one. For real. Yeah, I think the moment that I realized... I actually thought about becoming a streamer long before last year. You know, I've only been doing this for like a year. Hi, Luca. Welcome back. We finished the... I'm gonna need to name this thing eventually, but for now, I think it just kind of defies description. Did not speak hot tea all over the counter. Exactly. That we love to see somebody. We'd love to see a boss not spilling their tea. Yeah. God, you guys want to know something a little bit embarrassing? It took me until I was like 20 years old to realize that the way that you made iced tea is by making hot tea normally and then throwing ice cubes in it. It's beautiful, whatever that is. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Anyway, I didn't realize that the way you made iced tea normally was just like making normal hot tea and then just dumping ice cubes into it. I thought you had to make like a whole thing of tea, like you had to make normal tea and then wait for it to cool down and then chill it. Don't ask why I thought this. But that's just kind of like how I assumed you had to do it. I'm like, oh man, I want some iced tea, but I don't have the time to like wait around. I put it in the fridge. I mean, that's also valid. I mean, if you're bulk making iced tea, and I think that also works, like, you know, that method works, just like letting it cool down. Because you're not going to have enough ice to cool it down completely, you're just going to have to hold your horses, unless you've got, like, an ice tray the size of this green mat. You know, unless you've got an ice cube tray that big, I think you're just going to have to hold your horses if you're making, like, a whole pot of iced tea. But otherwise, you should be pretty good with just a couple of ice cubes. Anyway, I didn't realize this until I read, like, I think it was, like, a Korean web manga that was translated. It was called like the Duchess's 50 Tea Recipes or something. I remember reading parts of it. It's one of those stories where like a heroine gets where like a lady gets reincarnated into like an otome game. But instead of like being a gamer, she was just like a lady who loved tea. So what ended up happening is that she essentially ended up becoming a very powerful political entity by the fact that she knew how to serve tea and how tea culture worked. Which is very interesting. I actually quite enjoy the manga. I haven't been keeping up with it. I only read like 20 chapters of it or so, but yeah, that's how I learned about it. She was like, I know, I'll serve them iced tea in the summertime. And I'm like, oh, but how will you make iced tea in a place without a refrigerator? And she was like, I'll just put a couple of ice cubes in each tea sachet. And I'm like, today, random protagonist from this web manga that I'm never going to keep up with, you are a genius. Yeah, it kind of ruled as a premise. Yeah, no, that's what it took me. Anyway, so I think I'm only going to be able to display this thing upside down, just from the way that it's structured. But yeah, I didn't realize that you could just like put ice cubes in it. I am the kind of bright person. I have a very bright mind. I would like to think that I have a very bright mind, but sometimes it doesn't get wise to a couple of the different functionalities of objects. In any case, we seem to have successfully... Yeah, I think that's the best way we can put this. We successfully. So I'm happy with how this came out, honestly. It's been a while since I've done something weird like this. It's been a minute since I've had a real chance to like make something weird out of nothing. I'm glad I took that opportunity. It's got some heft to it too. It's like... I'm gonna call that like 50 grams. I think 50 grams is about right. It's okay, I can't make fun of you because a couple hours ago when I was draining pasta, I got irritated that the sink strainer wasn't making the water actually drain properly. So I stuck my hand in to mess with it. Oh! Yeah, that's an ouchie. Yeah, Corgi burn counter 1. Sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. God, no, I think we all have moments like that. But yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm just admiring this thing. I'm just like in awe of... It's okay, I didn't get actual burns or anything. It was just a no-brain moment. Yeah. It's like the thing is, I didn't make enough iced tea to kind of justify... Like, I didn't crave iced tea all that often. It's such a bowl. Okay. How about... Okay, it's got a lot of eyes. And it's made out of bats. And it's a bowl of some manner. It's some kind of... I mean, you could put your keys in here. It could hold a pair of keys. It's like a sconce of some type. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna avoid naming this thing. I think if I give this thing a proper name, it'll, like, come to life and try to kill me. So I think for the moment I'm just gonna find somebody to raid and close out of this. Oh man, we've been very productive. We've been very busy bees today. Alright, who all is streaming? Yeah, that's fair. I'm glad you understand. Oh, apparently... Okay, Misa Deluxe is playing Overcooked 2, so let's go see what they're up to. Okay, let's see here. How did I raid channels again? Right, okay. I know how to do that. I definitely know how to do that. So, on Saturday, I will... Yeah, no more streams until Saturday. And on Saturday, I will be playing Left 4 Dead 2 with my buddy Preston Peace at... Desperado Lich, I think is his ad on Twitter now. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you all for coming by. I hope you had as much fun as I did, because I had a lot of fun. And I will see you all later. Bye.